Excuse me, my voice is a little hoarse for this video. We got some news the other day that Muhammad Ali was dealing with a health issue, and usually when news breaks like that, a lot of times it's worse. They'll just try to, fans will see him going to a hospital and it's really none of anyone's business, so they'll try to say it's one thing when it's probably something else a lot worse. So he's had bad health for many years, but quite or a lot worse over the past couple of years. And so currently Muhammad Ali is fighting for his life. So those who want to say prayers can send prayers up on his behalf. I never was a big Muhammad Ali fan. I kind of like the big teddy bear, the big bear, Charles Sonny Liston, and just based off of self-education and not believing everything that the media said. Some things I learned. There's actually a book out called The Real Story Behind the Ali Liston Fights by Paul Gallender, excuse me. And I recommend that everyone read. No, I challenge everyone to read that book. I don't just encourage you. It took Gallender 35 years to complete the book, and it's the most in-depth book, at least on the Liston side of things, that you could read. And you'll look at Muhammad Ali a little bit differently when you read that book, but you will definitely look at Sonny Liston. If you knew the things that really transpired behind the scenes, you'd know. It's a good book. And once again, it's called The Real Story Behind the Ali Liston Fights. Muhammad Ali, there are many people that believe he's the greatest. I'm not one of those. I think Muhammad Ali probably had about 5 or 6 more losses than his record indicates. I thought he lost all 3 fights to Ken Norton. I thought he lost the fight to Doug Jones. And I definitely know he lost to Jimmy Young. And all of those fights were scored for Muhammad Ali, except for one of the Norton fights. They did give Kenny Norton one of the fights. Now, I'm not here to knock Muhammad Ali, especially at a time like this, but I'm not here to kiss his toes either. But we just like to report facts, and let the chips fall where they fall. A lot of times, with Prince and Michael Jackson and whoever else, we seem to go crazy about celebrity deaths or celebrity news, but then we have very little reaction when the woman who lives 10 doors away from us dies, or she goes to the hospital. So I think we get very celebrity crazy. People die every day. If you look at the obituary, you'll see Nancy Jones or William Jackson or whoever. However, television, I guess, and the media have brainwashed us into kind of overreacting when someone that we see on TV or hear on the radio passes away. Muhammad Ali, as I stated, I wasn't a big fan, but I respected the icon that he was when when he fought and thereafter. And I admired how he used his celebrity to do things that quite a few others wouldn't have a clue about. I think if Muhammad Ali had one regret, I think it may have occurred during the Malcolm X situation. Some of the things he said and some of the part he played prior to Malcolm X being assassinated. Of course, Muhammad Ali's bodyguard was tied into to that situation or that mess also. So, and I think he did admit some time later that was a regret of his. Even so, Muhammad Ali was the most well-known, most famous athlete, or we can say is. The reason I say is that he at the time of this audio, he hasn't passed away. However, there have been many years that have gone by, and many folks that have followed, but I still think he may be, as far as sports-wise. There are people in Africa that have never heard of Michael Jordan. I'm sure of that. But they know who Muhammad Ali is. And that's a testimony to himself, to the man as far as fighting in the ring, but more importantly, what he did outside of the ring. People use the word humanitarian. I think it goes a lot further than that. We can talk about that at another time. But right now he's in a grave condition right now. He's fighting for his life, and he's been fighting a good fight for years, dealing with a lot of his illness. Outside of the ring, I guess I dig Muhammad Ali more outside of the ring. I used to like he was into magic, and he really liked doing performing magic shows, his magic tricks. But there's a lot that Muhammad Ali said, I would say from maybe age 33, 34 to maybe 50. I mean, he had the gift of gab, and it's one thing that many people regret, and maybe he regrets, is that the gift was the curse. You know, Eddie Murphy did a movie a few years ago. Can't think of the name of it, but there were some leaves on a tree, and it's something to do with no words. And for each, I guess for each word he spoke, if I can recall how the movie went, a leaf would drop, and then when the final leaf would drop, he couldn't speak. But anyway, there were very little speaking parts in the movie and for Eddie Murphy. And while the concept, I understood where they were going with it, the movie was terrible, because if there's one thing you want Eddie Murphy to do in a movie is talk. Well, that might not be the best analogy, but the point I'm trying to make is Muhammad Ali talked so much that he was known as the Louisville Lip. He's from Louisville, and he gave a lot of lip service to everyone. The ironic thing that happened years later is that you never heard him talk. That gift that he had was taken from him. That's God's will, let it be done. And so I went from the fortunate to the unfortunate. Now let me swing back to the fortunate and go back to the fortunate and just say that there's so much footage of him talking that's still available that you always have that. You've had that preserved for years. Whether it was him calling himself the greatest, I don't believe he was the greatest. I don't believe he was the greatest heavyweight. I have a couple of guys rated, but that's just my list. Most people that you ask have him as, if not the greatest fighter, definitely the greatest heavyweight. Muhammad Ali is so the gift of gab, and then the gift was taken from him, but you still always have audio, whether it's him calling himself the greatest, or I'm a bad man, or I'm going to pick the round that I'm going to beat you in, to what's my name, I mean, you name it. And when you talk about quotables and athletes, he's always going to be on your Mount Rushmore of quoted athletes, or athletes with sound bites that everyone recognizes. So self-promotion, though he did for the less fortunate and stood for certain things and was a humanitarian, he and a great fighter, he was superior as far as self-promotion, to the point that kids my age had a Muhammad Ali doll, coloring books, cartoons, you name it. So when we look at guys today who have created characters or just have gotten to the point where they built a very nice portfolio for themselves, understand that it didn't start with Muhammad Ali, but he certainly took it to that level and paved the way for a lot of guys to be able to do it today. Part of that had to do with the sport of boxing. Those fights that he lost, that we know he lost. At least I know he lost. I mean, maybe we won't admit it, but I'll admit it. He won those fights because of who he was, because of the popularity, because of the fact that we can make more money off of him than anyone else. Or we can see if we can get a rematch. Whatever the case may be. You know, Larry Holmes followed Muhammad Ali and he was the heavyweight champion. And Don King, as a promoter, he was about telling stories and putting it in your head that every fight was 50-50. And Larry Holmes was the champion for many years. And but he couldn't draw flies. He couldn't draw the big crowds. So what did Don King do? Well, he would sell the opponent, Randall Tex Cobb, and made you think that Cobb was going to destroy Larry Holmes. Jerry Cooney, the great white hope, he made you believe Jerry Cooney was going to beat Larry Holmes. He marketed the opponent, and when he couldn't market the opponent, you know what Don King did? He brought Muhammad Ali in to sit ringside at Larry Holmes' fights. And guess what? More fans came to see Ali ringside watching the fight than they did to see Larry Holmes fight. So that's a testament to who the man is and who the man was at that time. So Those are the prayers. Those who are keeping Muhammad Ali in prayer. I hope you pray for all these young men who risk their lives in the ring every day. Part of Muhammad Ali's strategic method of fighting, the leaning against the ropes, played out in a way that it worked against him. So we certainly hope that he pulls through, he recovers, and he continues to fight the good fight. But that's the news of the day, or the past couple of days, is that Muhammad Ali is in pretty bad shape, but just like I know, just like everyone knows, if anyone can pull through, it's the champ. One thing I did, it's head scratching, and I still haven't figured it out. One thing about Muhammad Ali, in closing, is that a lot of the fights he won, did you see the body shots? Did you see the body shots that he landed on his opponents? Did you see them? The answer is hell no, because he never threw body shots. Ever. Show me a Muhammad Ali body shot. But that's the great thing. But he still beat those guys. He still beat them. You knew he wasn't going to go to the body, but he was blessed with that Manny Pacquiao, that Roy Jones, that Zab Judah, that Yoriorkis Gamboa, that Gary Russell Jr. hand speed at the heavyweight level. Muhammad Ali could probably fight it cruiserweight or light heavyweight these days. Heavyweights weren't. He wasn't a large heavyweight. So to be able to do, he did everything wrong in the ring. You didn't. The words fundamentally sound don't come to mind. Just awkward. Same with Roy Jones, by the way. Just awkward, and just a lot of natural gifts that made him one of the best fighters of all time. So we wish you well, champ. Hope you get better, and God be with you. There's a video, a decent video. It's about 9 minutes and 23 seconds, and it's I believe that's what it is. About 9 minutes and 23 seconds. And let me see if I can find a title real quick. I should have had it with me, but I'm on the old iPhone right now. Let's see if I can find it. Nope. I don't think I put it on Twitter, or did I? Well, there's a video where actually, yes, I did. It's you can go to YouTube and type in one of the most beautiful interviews you'll ever see of Muhammad Ali, and he talks about how much time you really don't have in life, how life is short, and he's answering a question that a kid asked him. Check it out when you get some time. Until then, please subscribe to the Fight Journal YouTube station. Please go to www.thefightjournal.com and at the top left side, you'll see something that says sign up to receive emails from this blog or what have you. Something along those lines. Don't quote me word for word. Follow blog via email, I should say. Give us a follow anytime we do a video, an audio, or do an article. It'll come right to your email. And also follow us on Twitter at The Fight Journal. Please subscribe.